Okay, ready to level up. Today, we're diving into 3 books that could seriously change your life. Millionaire Mindset, The Compound Effect, and Never Split the Difference. I know that's a lot to unpack, but trust me, we've boiled them down to the absolute essentials. By the end of this deep dive, you'll feel like you've read them all yourself, and you'll be itching to put these ideas into action.
Yeah, it's fascinating how these books all connect. They each focus on different things: wealth, habits, negotiations. But they all lead back to this idea of taking control and creating the life you want.
I love that.
Oh.
Okay, so first up, Millionaire Mindset by Gerry Robert. It's so much more than just a money book. He really digs into the psychology of wealth.
Right, it's not about luck or circumstance. Robert says millionaires have a different way of thinking. They see opportunity where others see roadblocks. Like, many people think wealth is limited. Like, if someone gets rich, someone else gets poor. But successful people see wealth as something you create by adding value and solving problems.
That's such a powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah.
I remember Robert talking about limiting beliefs, those thoughts that hold us back, like, I'll never be rich or money is evil. How do we actually fight those?
It all starts with awareness. You got to recognize those beliefs first. Then you question them. Are they based on facts or just fear? Usually they come from past experiences or what society tells us, not reality.
So we identify those beliefs and then choose to believe something different, something more empowering.
Exactly. And once you shift your mindset, you got to take action. Don't wait for the perfect time or for everything to line up. Start where you are with what you have. Even small steps, if you do them consistently, can build momentum.
That reminds me of the second book, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's like the next step after Millionaire Mindset, focusing on those small, consistent actions.
Hardy's main point is that success isn't about overnight miracles or huge leaps. It's about the little things you do every day that add up over time. He uses this example of 3 friends. One makes no changes, one adds small bad habits, and one makes small positive changes. Over time, their lives end up totally different, even though the changes they made at first were tiny.
So it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress consistently. Hardy's 1% rule really hit me. If you improve just 1% every day, imagine how much you'll grow in a year. It's incredible.
Definitely. And one of the most practical things from the compound effect is tracking your habits. It's easy to underestimate those small changes, but when you measure your progress, you see the positive effects, and that keeps you motivated.
Got it. So we've got the power of mindset from Robert and consistent action from Hardy. Now let's bring in Chris Voss and Never Split the Difference. This one's about negotiation, which first might seem kind of niche.
It might seem that way, but Voss was an FBI hostage negotiator, and he says negotiation is a skill we need in every part of life. We negotiate every day: salaries, deadlines, even where to eat dinner.
I see your point. It's not just for business deals. It's about communication and persuasion in any situation. I'm curious about this tactical empathy thing Voss talks about. What does that actually look like?
It's about truly listening to the other person and understanding their needs, even if you don't agree with them. People are more open to your ideas if they feel heard. Voss suggests asking calibrated questions, open-ended questions that start with what or how, to encourage collaboration.
So instead of saying, can you lower the price?
Yeah.
You might say, what are your biggest concerns with this proposal?
Exactly. By understanding their perspective, you can find a solution that works for both of you.
That makes sense. It sounds like Never Split the Difference is as much about relationships as getting what you want.
And it's about win-win solutions, not just winning at someone else's expense.
Yeah. Wow. This is giving me a lot to think about. It's like these 3 books are starting to connect, creating a blueprint for success, each one building on the last. But before we go too deep there, let's take a closer look at the compound effect. There's so much more to uncover, and I think it might be the key to unlocking the full power of the other 2 books.
Yeah, you're totally right. The compound effect isn't just about habits. It's like a framework for how to think about progress in any area. And it connects Millionaire Mindset and Never Split the Difference.
Oh, I'm interested. Tell me more. How do you see them connecting?
Well, Robert talks about shifting your mindset to attract wealth, right? But then what? That's where Hardy comes in. He shows you how to turn that mindset into action.
So it's like Millionaire Mindset plants the seed and the compound effect helps it grow.
Exactly. It's not enough to just think differently about money. You have to act differently too. And not just huge changes, but those small, consistent steps Hardy talks about.
Like those daily habits Robert mentions. Reading, networking, learning new skills. They might seem small, but over time they make a big difference.
For sure. And here's where it gets really interesting. What if you apply that same idea of consistent action to negotiation? Voss talks about tactical empathy and calibrated questions. You don't learn those overnight. You need practice.
Right. It's like exercising a muscle. The more you use those skills, the better you get. So even if you're not a natural negotiator, you can improve by using Voss's techniques every day.
Exactly. That's what's so cool about the compound effect. It shows us we can improve in anything, even if we don't feel naturally good at it. It's about putting in the work consistently.
Okay, so we've got the mindset, we've got the consistent action. But what about setbacks? Life's not always easy. How do these books deal with those inevitable challenges?
That's a great question. And I think all three authors would agree that setbacks are going to happen. The key is to not let them stop you. Robert talks about resilience, bouncing back from failure. Hardy says focus on the long term. Don't get discouraged by short-term stuff.
So keep your eye on the prize, even when things are tough.
Yeah, and remember, setbacks are chances to learn and grow. Voss even says you can use setbacks in negotiations as leverage. Even a no can be a starting point to understand the other person better.
I like that. Instead of seeing no as the end, it's a chance to get more info and try a different approach. You know, one theme I'm seeing in all these books is personal responsibility. We're not just victims. We have the power to shape our own lives.
Absolutely. And that's really empowering. No matter what we face, we have the tools to overcome it.
You know, as we're talking, I'm realizing these books aren't just about success in one area. They're about a way of thinking, a philosophy for living intentionally.
I agree completely. They offer a way to think about personal growth in a bigger way.
So it's not just about money or deals. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves.
Yes. And realizing that personal growth never ends. There's always more to learn and new challenges to face.
This deep dive is really coming together for me. But before we go too deep, let's bring it back to our listener. We've covered a lot. What are some things they can actually use in their lives?
Good question. I think one of the biggest takeaways is the power of mindset. Like Robert says, your beliefs shape your reality. So if you want to change your life, start by changing your thinking. Challenge those limiting beliefs and think about abundance and possibility.
Mindset is key. What else?
Action Hardy's big on that. Knowledge without action is useless. So pick one small thing from these books and commit to it. Maybe it's writing down your goals or trying a calibrated question. Just start doing something. Remember, small changes add up over time.
Right. Mindset and action. Anything else?
I think the last piece is human connection. Whether it's empathy in negotiations or strong relationships, connecting with others is so important for success and happiness.
I love that mindset-action connection. 3 powerful tools for a better life. We've got one more part of this deep dive to go. I'm excited to see where it takes us. Okay, so we've explored Millionaire Mindset, we've got the compound effect down, and we've even learned how to never split the difference. But here's where things get really interesting. What if we combine all these ideas? Like if we use Hardy's principle of small, consistent actions with Robert's mindset shifts. Could that actually make us better negotiators, like Voss talks about?
You're hitting on something big. These books aren't meant to be separate things. They work together to help you grow. Think of it like a loop. Your mindset affects your actions. Your actions create results. And those results make your mindset even stronger. So it keeps going.
Whoa, that's pretty mind-blowing. So if I keep working on my mindset, take small steps towards my financial goals, and practice tactical empathy in my interactions, they all build on each other.
Exactly. It's like leveling up in a video game. You're not just learning separate skills. You're becoming more powerful overall.
Okay, so for someone listening who's ready to make a change, what's the first step?
It goes back to what we talked about. Pick one thing from these books that really spoke to you, even if it's small. Maybe write down your goals, or try a calibrated question in your next conversation. Just make a tiny commitment that you can stick to this week.
I like that. Keep it simple and doable. But here's one last thought for everyone listening. All 3 books emphasize understanding how people think, whether it's your own mindset or the motivations of others. So how could understanding human behavior even better help you unlock more potential in your life? That's something to think about as you start your own journey of growth.
And remember, growth is a journey. It never really ends. There will be ups and downs, challenges and victories. Embrace it all, celebrate the wins, and never stop learning.
This deep dive has been amazing. I hope everyone listening feels inspired and ready to create the life they want. Remember, you have the power to make it happen, so go out there and do it.